Yeehaw! Before we get to today's video, I want to take a moment to talk about Patreon. That's right, we are on Patreon now, and we have a bunch of tiers with a bunch of great rewards. You can subscribe and get things like early access to all reactions, depending on your tier, depends on which reactions you get early access to. You can vote on polls exclusive to patrons that will help determine future reaction series and more. You will get to just have various choices in terms of like getting to choose future reactions I react to, getting to choose first impressions I check out, all kinds of different rewards, and possibly more coming in the future. We're still new at this. We're still figuring things out. It's a process. It's a process. But we have multiple tiers, so whatever you would be able to donate, if you're able and willing to donate, is appreciated. It helps me out, it helps the channel out, it helps us grow. It's going to help just, standardly. It's just something new to check out. Plus, if you like getting the reactions early, that's also a plus. But it is optional. If you're unable to do it, that's completely fine. All reactions will come to YouTube just a little bit later, a week later or so. So that all being said, thank you as always so much, and let's get on with today's video. And with that being said, hey everyone, welcome to Princess of Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with another movie reaction for our monthly movie week. And this time we have Home on the Range. So as I stated last time with Black Phone 2, we don't really have a theme going on with the monthly movies for this month. So I'm just getting to some things. I'm just choosing some things. And one of those is Home on the Range. This is another donation reward for Venom. And it's a Disney movie with cows. That's the extent of my knowledge on it. I know it's a movie that's divisive, I think is the best way to put it. Like, there are some people who are like, oh, this is actually pretty nostalgic. I really enjoyed this. But then there's some people who are like, this was bad. This was a dog shit movie. And there's a lot of films out there like that, especially when it comes to Disney. So it's not really that unusual. And as always, I still form my opinion just as I watch. So I'm not going to determine anything based on what other people say. Yeah, I don't know exactly what to expect from this. It's not a long movie. It's pretty short. And with it centering around cows and stuff, it's like I feel like there's messages they could try to have with the story in terms of the conditions of cattle or something on dairy farms. But that's the only thing I could think of that this plot could actually be about. And I don't even know if that's going to be the case. Because that's just the first thing that came to my mind. This could be something entirely different. Whew. Excuse me. But I guess we'll find out. So yeah, I'm sorry I don't really have much of anything else to say. I'm sorry for these pre-thoughts being so quick, but I really just don't have anything else to say. So before we begin, though, I do want to remind you all that we have a Patreon now. We started it at the beginning of the year, and by accessing it, by becoming a patron, you get early access to all reactions from the channel, depending on what tier you're at. If you're at the $5 tier, you get all access to movie reactions. The $10 tier adds in series reactions, and each tier keeps adding in another type of reaction. So by the time you get to the top, if you choose to get to the top, you get early access to everything. There are also tier rewards that will give you the ability to vote on exclusive polls, be able to request things for me to react to in the future, and so on and so forth. So there's always going to be something, and I'm still working on things. It's a new venture for me, so things might change, things might be added, etc., etc. But everything is coming to YouTube eventually. It's just it starts off on Patreon. Um, that being said, I'm doing this all full time, so any bit helps if you're able to donate, but it is completely optional. Um, it's if it's something that's just too much for you to be able to handle because of the economy and whatnot, because your own expenses that you need to focus on, that's completely fair. I'm never gonna force anyone into doing this. It's just something that I want to be able to add in as a part of the channel to hopefully give something extra for those you who can do something. And like I said, even for the smaller tiers, you still get something. There is also a $1 tier, which gets you just it's basically just a general support tier. You don't get any big like rewards for it. But it's a way to support without like really having to dedicate yourself to too much. And you could technically follow the Patreon for free, though you don't get any content with that. So it's like there's not a huge amount of point to it, but if you want to, you can do that. Um, I just I just want to let you all know that that is going to continue to be a thing for now, and we are going to just try to make it work as best we can. If you have any thoughts, any questions, anything about the Patreon you want to know, or anything else, please feel free to ask in the comments below. And for now, let's get on with today's reaction. Hold up just a sec. Before you click that link down in the description below to get to today's video, I want to remind you of all the awesome content we have both on this channel and the Princess of Gaming channel. Let's check it out. Welcome to the Afterthoughts. We'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So, I think pretty much everyone can agree to me that this movie doesn't live up to a lot of Disney's catalog, whether you're just counting just Disney in general or Disney Pixar. Like, you think of Lilo and Stitch, Hercules, even more recent stuff like Encanto. And it's like, yeah, this isn't on that level. But sometimes you just don't need it to be. Like, those movies are great because of their immense depth and storytelling and character work. This movie doesn't need that kind of stuff. This movie's just fucking fun. Like, sometimes that's all you need with a film, just to have fun, just to enjoy the ride. It doesn't have to be anything special. It doesn't have to have a lot of depth. It doesn't have to have a lot of great developments for your characters or any kind of, new original storytelling elements. Like, pretty much everything in this story is very generic. Down to the villains, the reveals, the hero moments. Every bit of this is as standard and generic as it comes. You've seen it before in a million things, and you'll see it again in a million more. But I'm not one of those people. I'm not a critic who acts like every movie has to be a masterpiece, has to be an Oscar-winning or at least Oscar-nominated level of a masterpiece to be praised or to be seen as good, to be enjoyed. I'm not one of those kinds of people because, I actually like movies. I actually like watch movies to enjoy them. I'm not going to overanalyze shit and just be, a stick in the mud the entire time and bitch about every little thing, just whine about every little mistake or issue or like perception of a film. When I'm watching, the biggest thing I want to be is entertained. And yes, a lot of times that does come from like big story stuff or like really good character writing. Hell, I'd say most of the time for me, it comes with that stuff. But sometimes a movie can be like really good by just being fun. And Home on the Range is absolutely one of those films. It doesn't need to be anything special. It's just, it knows what it is. This is a movie that knows what it is and isn't trying to be anything more. And I appreciate that. It's having fun, it's being wacky, it's being silly. You have an insane cast with some fantastic performances. The characters are likable. It's just a good, enjoyable ride. I can see why some people might not like it. I can see like some people finding it a little too generic or finding it to be a little too like bland because it's not very original and doesn't have a lot otherwise going for it in that regard. I could see that. I understand why this film has mixed reviews. I understand why it's not the best received. I get it. But I disagree with it. And both of those can absolutely coexist. You can understand why something is like looked down on without agreeing that it should be looked down on. This is one of those movies that, even if it's not necessarily the quote unquote best made, I loved it. Like, I had such a good time watching this. I was so invested. I was so, like, happy watching it, which is so important. Unless it's a movie that trying to specifically make you not happy. But I can't even begin to hate on a film like this. And maybe it's because, like, the weather lately has been, like, shit, and that's been getting me down a little bit. Maybe it's because the current situation in this country is shit and has been getting me down a lot. But a movie like this that just makes me happy, that just, like, brings joy and fun to my life, is something that I really look forward to. And it can be a show, it can be a game as well. It doesn't have to be a movie specifically, but I love this kind of media that just makes me feel good. And so, yeah, I'm very happy with what I got here. Grace is definitely the best. Like, she's the best character in this, hands down. She is adorable. She's hilarious. Her personality is amazing. Jennifer Tilly's performance as her is great. It's like, I just kind of love everything about her. Maggie is basically just Turk from Tarzan. Like, if you've seen Disney's Tarzan and seen Roseanne playing Turk in that, it's basically the same character. Which isn't a bad thing. I grew up loving Turk. Turk was my favorite when I was a kid. It's Jane, currently, if you're wondering. Jane is my favorite as an adult. For a couple reasons. I won't lie. She's kind of hot. I'm into her. But yeah, Maggie is very much like that, and Miss Calloway, she's kind of like the she's the stuck up one, the voice of reason, who ends up becoming, fun by the end as well. Again, you've seen this trope in so much; it's everywhere. But they all have like these distinct personalities, and they're good. They're like tropey to a degree, yes, but they're still good. You also have Buck, who's like this like very high on himself horse who wants to be a hero, who dreams of like working with this bounty hunter and everything. And his little story of finding out that the bounty hunter is actually a bad guy and ends up like realizing that these cows were the real heroes the entire time because of what they were trying to do. It's like I actually, again, very generic, but I like how it was done. I don't care. There's also some really good side characters here and there. And I like the villains. Like Alameda Slim was like, you know, very cartoonishly stereotypical villain. And then he started yodeling, and that part did admittedly throw me off a bit. But it was also really funny. So it's like I didn't mind it. It's just I wasn't expecting it. His nephews, I guess, as well, were fucking hilarious. And more so than they had any right to be. It's like some of the stuff they were saying and some of their reactions to things were so fucking funny. And it's like, this shouldn't be funny. Why is this so funny? Like, I think the one that maybe made me laugh the most was when they're talking about, like, yodeling being an art. And someone, I don't remember who it was, someone said maybe she isn't a fan of art or something. He's like, Philistine. And it's like, that was the funniest thing. That was just so goddamn funny. It's like it caught me so off guard that he used the word Philistine. And like I'm not gonna say it was improperly used, but it was just so unexpected. Also, them like never being able to see through the disguises, and like anytime like Slim puts on the disguise, he's like, it's like, oh shit, who are you? Where'd you take our uncle? And it's like, oh my god, they're so dumb. They're so dumb. They are so obnoxiously dumb, and in most scenarios, I would hate characters like this because it's so over the top and silly. But for some reason, they're just so funny. I don't know if it's the voices, I don't know if it's the designs or a combination of everything, but they're so goddamn funny. Everything they say and do is just absolute gold. And there was some emotion to this. The emotion didn't get to me that much. Like there were a couple scenes that, like got me a little, got my eyes a little itchy. No full tears, or I wasn't even welling anything up. But it's like, you know, there was feeling there. um, but I feel like I feel like the emotion might have hit more if I like had more time to connect with everything. Like with the farm and everything, it's like I've seen this woman for like less than 5 minutes, and we're bringing up the idea that her farm's getting foreclosed. It's like I'm supposed to suddenly care about this when I don't even like know this character really. Like what? I mean, and the performances and the music and all is what kind of got my eyes a little itchy there, but it never went beyond that because I didn't really have a reason for it to. When a movie or a show or a game or something makes me cry, it's usually because it's connected with me in some way. And this just didn't quite do that. And I don't. Let me check. Is there a sequel to this? Because if there's a sequel that has any kind of moments like that, that could possibly do things. There's a video game, apparently, for the Game Boy Advance. I'm not seeing anything about a sequel. Maybe it just didn't do well. It had a budget of 110 million, and it made 145 million. So it did make a profit. Maybe not as good of a profit. Yeah, it even says it was a box office failure. It just didn't make enough back to, like, make it work. So I guess that's why. I mean, oh well. I mean, I would have been, right, like, up there for watching a sequel, but I guess there isn't one. But yeah, I like this. I had a lot of fun with this movie. I thought it was just a great time. There was so much unexpected comedy, and I just really liked the characters. Plus, again, you had so many great voice actors, or big name celebrities doing these voices, um, and it's like just a really stacked cast. But yeah, I had fun. So tell me in the comments below, what did you think of Home on the Range? And thank you so much for tuning in. For now, I'm Connie and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.